various in real life circumstances. I know some of you have had some in real life circumstances too, um, which is one of the reasons why one of our players is not able to join us tonight. Hopefully, they'll be able to join us eventually, but if they can't. But at any rate, from what I recall, what happening a couple weeks ago, last time we were gathered together for this game, you managed to traverse the marsh. You met a treant after helping it battle back some rats that apparently some rather evil druids set upon it. You managed to track down some of those druids and smash them, only to discover that they've been doing rituals on various trees and shrubs and various plants to create blights. Uh, One of you managed to detect blights even further away, but it was unclear, how long it was going to take to get there, and it was basically detracting from the current mission, which was to head to the layer of Thousand Teeth and take it down for the good of the lizard folk. Now that you've actually done so, getting yourselves hurt, especially with those snakes that descended upon you and tried to attack, which I think freaked Lobu out. um, you did manage to defeat the giant croc without sustaining major injury. All of you are still alive, and you have a nutrient friend apparently. So that leaves the question as to what you guys wish to do next, now that you've acquired your target.
I believe last time there was mention that somebody wanted to search the Thousand Teeth land. I don't remember who that was, but that sounds fun. Also, ouch, I'm in pain.
Oh, are you looking pretty beat up?
Just a bit, yeah.
Oh,
I can heal myself a little bit, but then I'll be all out of stuff.
I think if you wanted to go ahead and do that, it might be a good idea. We could probably take a rest, preferably a long one. Maybe after checking the lair. I don't know who's wanted to do that, but I could help.
The
What?
layer in question you can see is this mound of dirt and mud all the way over here in the middle of the pond. You still can't see any, through the water of this pond. It's all very brackish. But if you wish to go across the pond and go into the lair to see if there's anything of interest in there, you may do so.
Sure, I'll hop in the water.
All right.
I'll go with you.
Yeah, the water is nothing to the sea elf. It's dirty, but it's doable. Volan, you feel occasionally twinges at your various injuries.
Mm,
All right. So both of you can give me an investigation check.
Oof.
Was that at advantage or not meant to be advantage?
No, not advantage.
Alright, so Topaz, you pretty much dig your hands through and just find mud and more mud, and maybe something that was probably, excrement of this creature. Volan, on the other hand, you kind of dig your hands through some of the mud, and you find some various gemstones. Mostly white and red. Let's see, how many do we have here? You find 10 altogether. Three white. Three red and 7 white.
I'll scoop those up. Topaz, when you're done playing in crocodile shit, would you want to help me bring these back over to Dovin?
How do you know I didn't want crocodile shit?
Well, okay. I'm just gonna head back.
I'll be right there.
Would anyone else like to come and investigate?
No, water's not for me. Sorry.
I mean, if you really want me to go take a look, I can after I lick my wounds for a little bit.
By
But
the way,
those look very pretty.
did you see the picture I posted of a Callie I discovered?
Yes, it's beautiful.
Thought you would like that. So Dovin is also going in over to the pile.
If Vaughn or Topaz thinks it's worth it, otherwise I'll just take a look at the gems and
I mean,
maybe rub a little bit of dirt off of them before putting them in the bag.
Okay.
The crocodile. I don't think there's anything else over there.
that's probably fair, but I don't see the harm in doing it if you wanted to. Here are these though, and I'll hand him all the gems.
Nice. I think I'm good.
I can't help it. I told myself I wasn't going to talk on this. I was just going to drive, but I have to go over there. I have to.
Okay, I guess I'll go with Lobu.
I'll make a roll for you then as well. But in Dovin, you can also roll.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Alright. We're not gonna find anything else.
Would you like to give? I think I'm gonna say, considering you were saying that you were going with Lobu, that you're actually helping Lobu and thus giving him advantage. Is that fair?
That sounds totally fair.
Let's see here. 1 second. Roll me a 1d4, will ya? Whoa. You managed to find, as you guys are digging through, and Lobo at first looks a little confused, and you look a little confused by yourself, but then you go over and assist Lobu, and you start pulling a few odd objects out, including several corpses, which have the following on them. They're humanoid corpses. 53. Some kind of interesting looking potion. Let me find the description of it real fast. Where did my... Oh, there it is. No, that's not the right book. Sorry, I moved things around in my office again, so I've misplaced a couple of my my tomes. Because I like doing things by description instead of just saying, this is a potion of blah. I actually have all those nice little cards that actually show descriptions.
Ooh.
So, this first potion you find is nice and blue and seems to be bubbling, but produces no warmth. The second object you dig out of that pile wrong page. Is a potion that you definitely know is a potion of superior healing. The third object among this pile of corpses. Oh, you find some kind of bag. It looks like it's some kind of knapsack, but fancier than the standard backpacks you have. It's actually kind of nice. There's a good picture of it. Yeah, it said it looks a lot like a regular backpack, except that it just seems nicer for some reason, and it seems well balanced. And the final object you pull out of there. Huh. Interesting. I don't even know what that is. It looks... It... Huh. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Roll me a 1d6, will you? Two. You find some sort of interesting feather with the motif of a bird on it, and a bit of trailing. Sorry, Vex, you don't want that. A bit of trailing rope or twine that looks very dark green. These objects you managed to bring over to the rest of your companions.
Are you kidding me? Where was all that?
Yeah, what the fuck, Dobin?
Don't look at me. Lobo's the one that found these. There were a couple of bodies. Poor souls, but, you know, I'm not going to turn down a couple of boons.
Stupid croc.
So underneath, there was a big pile of shit, and they were just underneath.
Topaz, I think you might have had the right idea with digging through the shit.
I loosened it up for you.
Thanks, bud. Now, this looks like a potion of healing, but I'm really not sure about the rest of these. This is a really nice bag. This is a really strange feather thing, and I wonder what this is. Can I examine the blue and bubbling potion?
Sure. Roll me an Arcana check. I mean, you spent all that time in the library. You might recognize it just because. Yeah, you look at it, and something comes to mind, something you've read in a book somewhere, and you realize this is a potion of heroism.
This is a potion of heroism. This is actually kind of nice. Lobu, you're pretty good with this, right? You're able to do something like this? I'm assuming it reproduces the effect of heroism?
Yes, in fact, it reproduces the effect of heroism very well. Because heroism by itself, at lower levels, just does, X, Y, Z. But at this, basically a potion of heroism, for 1 hour after drinking it, you gain 10 temporary hit points that last for 1 hour. For the same duration, you're under the effect of a bless spell.
Wow.
All the rest of heroism, it's concentration, I think. So a bless spell for an hour is even better than simply getting, if you're going through a major dungeon crawl, a potion of heroism is a great thing to have. Temporary hit points are a nice boon, but the bless part of it, that's something wonderful, in my opinion.
Yeah, no kidding. That's great. Does anybody have any idea, or would I have an idea, what's fancy about this knapsack? If there's anything special about the knapsack and what this...
Yeah.
I couldn't quite understand what you were saying with the feather.
Yeah.
Is it like a feather with a string attached to it?
It's a feather with a bird motif on it. As for the backpack, after thinking about the potion for a moment, you suddenly realize that the backpack's design is also very familiar, probably from that same book, from a similar book you were reading, probably on adventuring or something along those lines, because, these are both standard adventuring equipment. That this isn't simply a backpack. This is a handy haversack.
Nice.
And you realize with that you do not want to put it anywhere near a bag of holding. Two objects will destroy each other and you, or at least dump you all into the astral plane.
Would be an adventure for sure, but not one that I'm ready to go on. Somebody else should take it.
How does something like that work underwater? I wonder.
Well, that's a good question. Does water pour in? Or do things only go in when you place them in?
You can attempt to experiment with it if you like.
Is there anything in it already?
I believe if we turn it inside out,
Oh, unlike
everything is
a
a big
unlike a
spell.
bag of holding, you can actually, see what's in a handy haversack without, it just automatically shuffles whatever you're thinking about to the top. It doesn't require being pulled inside out just to discover what's in it, like a bag of holding. So you look
Okay.
inside, and it's pretty much just got a standard set of adventuring supplies in there.
Okay.
Nothing fancy, but if anybody needs a standard set of adventuring supplies, that comes with the handy haversack.
I think I'm good. Who wants the handy haversack? I already have a bag of holding, so this is redundant on me.
Like I said, I just wondered if it's good underwater. If it is, it might be something for one of us who swims would keep whatever we're carrying dry.
Worth a try.
Throw it over here. Let me see.
Yep,
Now,
I'll give to
Here's
you.
something to think about. You did just lug this across the water. This has been sitting underneath things for a while. But when you open the bag to look inside, the stuff inside did appear to be dry and clean. The outside of it might be dirty at the moment, with various detritus and a bit damp, but the inside was fine.
All right, well, I'm going to splash in and wash it off. Good. And then open it up, one of the pouches up underwater, and see what happens.
All right. That's a good question for the GM as well. The GM's curious about that. I want to see if there's double checking really quick to see if there's any actual. There we go. Let me read over this really quick just to see if there's anything actually saying about that. Alright, so it looks like water is getting in with the pouch, small pouch open. Looks
Okay.
like you're now collecting water in there.
All right, I'll come out, dump it out. No, well, looks like it might keep things dry that was dry. But open it up under the water's going to pour in.
I mean, it's still a good backpack. Better than any mundane backpack you might have.
I don't have one, so
Do you want one?
sure, give it a try. See if it might turn up handy. If we ever need something, smuggled beneath the sea.
There you go. What about this feather with the bird motif and this twine?
Are not sure what that is.
Anybody else have an idea?
One of those tokens, maybe. I've heard of such things. My sister had one. She said she used it on a ship, made a big fan and blew wind for a while and made them move faster, but it was one-time thing and then used up. I'm just throwing an idea out there. I know it's a feather. What do I know?
Maybe more than I do.
Like, what I do know is that they don't have Heward's handy frickin' haversack in the OGL. They've got Heward's handy spice pouch.
Ouch.
I don't even know what that is.
Let me see if I can see it, because I actually have some things purchased on here. So I'm gonna see if if it shows up in it. Ah, it does. Let me add it to yours. I'll
Okay.
put it in onto your character sheet.
What is it? Like, you had to buy the players or something on Dungeons?
Yeah, I did because
D&D Beyond?
because I spent so much time in Roll20, and do so much things with tokens that don't like having to type things in all the time. As a GM, I find it very handy to have spent that money on there. It's like the equivalent of me if I was playing in real life, I'd bought all the fancy somebody already pre-did the what am I trying to say, okay, my brain is losing it. Miniatures. There we go. I don't have a steady hand. I really can't to do those, but so it's like, instead of spending money on miniatures and whatnot, I spend money on this sort of thing. There you go. Handy Haversack is now in there.
Oh, they don't call it a Hewards.
Yeah, it's just called Handy
Weird.
Haversack.
It's called a Hewards in the DMG. It's weird.
So the other three things are, other two things are the Potion of Heroism and the Potion of Superior Healing. I think somebody else should have a Superior Healing than me, since I can already do it with magic. Maybe Lobu Dread or...
Oh.
Noxus.
You know what? This would be a way to take someone who couldn't breathe underwater for a little while.
10 minutes. It's airtight and watertight.
I personally do healing myself. I think someone else who cannot should have it.
Anybody want the Potion of Healing?
I think I'm okay. I can take quite a bit of damage before it becomes an issue.
Maybe give it to one of those that's quick and can get to others that fall. Maybe Noxie.
Noxie or you are the fastest people. I can give it to Noxie. Noxie, you want this?
Noxie will nod and hold up a card saying, "Yes, please."
All right, I'll hand it to her. Don't be afraid to use it on yourself if you're in trouble, but if someone else is in trouble, you can help them. Unless somebody dying for the Potion of Heroism, we probably won't need it for a while, so I can probably just hang on to it until we decide we need it, unless somebody else wants to hold on to it. Probably, strictly speaking, Valen or Topaz would get the most use out of it.
4 plus 8.
The what?
The Potion of Heroism.
Oh. I already got a haversack, so I don't care.
If you wanted to hold on to it until maybe we need it.
Yeah, I can hold on to it.
Sure. And the feather, we can always ask Carly. I know she knows quite a bit about magic.
She does. Also, the lizard folk might have an idea too.
Mm-hmm.
The treant is been watching you guys silently, kind of like gazing down at the dead crocodile and the dead snakes for a bit, and then looking at the rest of you now that you've gathered treasures from the mound.
I really do appreciate your help, good friend.
Well, you did help me first.
That's what friends do. Where do you think you're going to go next?
Well, I'm going to continue to protect my woods, especially now that there's a clear threat of those evil druids. I must find some more allies to help me with that. Perhaps the lizard folk will be willing to give aid if they continue to live here. Perhaps not if they move on.
I do hope we're able to get to the bottom of that. And that does concern me quite a bit. But I trust you to do your best, and I'm sure the lizard folk will, at the very least, be interested in violent.
Speaking of which, we've got to take some proof back that we
Yeah,
killed this thing.
I'm going to say odds are we're not going to be able to shove this big boy into the bag of holding.
No.
We could try to take his head.
getting some flashbacks. I mean, it's probably the most identifiable part of it, most obviously. Even if we can't fit it into the bag of holding, I can carry some of it on a floating disc when we travel back.
That might be better. We don't get crocodile guts all over the inside of a bag.
Yeah.
I do have a limit of 500 pounds.
I hope its head doesn't weigh more than 500 pounds.
It would be impressive.
What is the average weight for a crocodile? That's a good question.
Well, just his head.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was going to estimate from. So if the average weight of a crocodile is X, then the head must equal Y.
Size of that thing, wouldn't be surprised if it was like 1,500 pounds or a ton.
Yeah, big boy.
Yep. Oh, I showed you the handout for that. Good. Alright, let's just see for a moment. It's a large monstrosity. So, yeah, I'm going to say definitely the head of this thing will fit fine on your Tensor's floating disc.
Cool beans.
It's only large, it's not like it's huge.
Well, time to get the surgery.
Yup, if there's no objections, and I'm going to whip out my great axe.
He's a little too excited for this, but I'm not going to say anything.
I've been trying to cut something's head off for the past 5 sessions.
So
I'm watching. You're enjoying that way too much.
He was a threat. I'm glad we neutralized a threat.
So let's just have one attack at advantage.
Ooh,
Well, at advantage, so it's actually a 24. So
thank God.
you swing your axe around, and you just go chop, and you chop halfway through the head of this monstrous beast.
Come down again.
Another great swing. It's all but over, except a little bit of flesh left behind. Now that tough hide at the bottom. Moxie seems to be making a gagging motion.
Do I need to cut this again, or can I just tear the skin?
You can tear the skin, it's fine.
Yep, I'll tear the skin.
And congratulations, you now have the head of Thousand Teeth.
Yay.
Oh boy. I guess while she was doing that, I was going to start ritual casting tensors. Although,
Seems a shame. That's good meat.
Oh,
Quite
you're
a bit of
welcome to carve off your own piece if you want.
And for that will be a survival check to see how much crocodile meat you manage to carefully extract from the corpse.
can I help her out with that?
Yes, you may. Roll again for advantage. All right. You managed to carve up a few steaks. No more than 5, unfortunately, which isn't quite enough to feed your entire party. But I'm not sure if Noxie is going to be eating any of that. She looks like... Well, she wasn't green already. She looks like she'd be green now.
Take some of the skin, wrap it up, maybe some leaves around that. I should be able to carry that in the haversack.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
problem.
There's enough just loose around and just in the area because of the hanging tree that it's no problem to find that.
This will be steaks for later. I don't know if any of you have ever had crocodile. It's actually pretty good.
I heard it tastes like chicken. Is that true?
I don't know. I've never had chicken.
Oh,
How do you judge the taste of anything?
I've been told it tastes like your land pigs.
ah.
Okay.
Do the lizard folk eat snake?
From what
Don't
you
they?
Go ahead.
Oh, don't they eat everything? It seems like.
I think they eat their own kind.
I mean, it certainly seems like they eat everything. I just figured we could bring something back. But I don't know if I'm comfortable carrying these all the way.
Can you give them some of this crocodile meat? I mean, might as well. It's going to have to be eaten tonight anyway.
That's true.
Speaking of which, you already know that you're probably not going to get back to the, given how long it took you to get here, it's probably going to be nightfall before you get back to the lizard folk.
What time is it right now?
Let's see, I don't remember exactly, but I think it is just prior to nightfall as it is, like maybe mid-afternoon to early evening.
Well, unless we want to take a rest right here, we could start making our way back and stopping for night's rest.
I think that's probably a good idea. I'd like to rest up. So
Okay, we'll look for some place to camp nearby.
Alright. Roll a survival check, please. Yeah, you've just some way away from the pond, a place free from snakes, which I imagine Lobuk is quite enjoying. You find adequate ground that's not quite as moist, which the non-sea elves in the party would enjoy. Place enough to set up a nice camp.
Check that meat again. And probably discover, much to my surprise, that it's fine because it's airtight in there.
Yeah, it'd still be okay. At least it would be okay for a few hours at the very least. And it might even if you drained it out, you could potentially make jerky by leaving it in there. But right now it's moist enough from the internals that it would probably start rotting before the lack of air killed whatever is in the moisture.
It would or wouldn't.
I said you would probably have to drain the moisture out of the steak in order to turn it into jerky, putting it in the haversack.
I mean, but is it okay to carry it in the haversack for now? Is it going to be okay till we get back?
Yeah, it should be okay for another 24 hours. It probably would still be edible.
Frankly, for that matter, if it spoils a little bit, they'll probably like it more.
Exactly. I mean, it won't spoil as fast as leaving it out in the open air, but because it still has its own bacteria, there's enough contact to that eventually it will spoil, but it won't spoil for the moment, and it won't spoil for the next day. So.
Did they cook any of their meat?
Yeah.
The lizard folk?
Some of it was raw, but there's plenty of cooking going on. They cooked meat. They made stews. They cooked roots and tubers. Some of the meat they seem to quite enjoy raw, but it seemed to be a person-by-person case.
Okay.
There we go. So, what would you guys like to do? You've got a campsite now. Do you just wish to turn in for the night, leaving a watch, or would you like to enjoy some time, maybe by a fire? What is your order of operations here?
Dolan's pretty exhausted. He's gonna probably, as soon as the camp is set up and it's acceptable, he's gonna turn over and go to sleep.
And Noxie will go and curl up next to him to keep safe.
Topaz, Dread, Lobu, did you guys want to set up watch while they sleep? I don't know how you guys want.
Sounds like a good plan. Who wants? I'll take first watch.
I'll sit up. I think I'm going to cook this meat, just to be sure. They'll like it either way.
Okay. If it's no problem with you all, I'd like to rest a little bit.
Lobu also decides to curl up and go to sleep for now. Your tree ant friend is actually standing nearby and says, "If you need a watch, I can keep an eye on things for a while. I can sleep when it gets lighter out."
That would be perfect. Thank you.
You have done me a good service, and it was good to take care of things over here as well. This is a way of repaying.
Look up at them. You know, you make me wonder now if there are such things as you beneath the sea.
I have never been beneath the sea, but if there are those that would make awakened trees, like those that eventually become ones like me, then perhaps there are similar beings underneath the sea somewhere.
I've never heard of it, but that doesn't mean... there's more than enough plant life of all kinds. Not really trees, per se, but many different kinds of flowering plants and various leafy, even seaweed. There's a thought. Sentient seaweed.
If I knew what that was, would I be afraid or intrigued? The tree says.
I know I'd be afraid of it.
You'd be afraid of sentient seaweed?
What's that?
You'd be afraid of sentient seaweed?
Wouldn't you?
Probably. I don't know what seaweed is.
How do you people not know what seaweed is? Have you never walked along a beach?
No.
Well, that explains it. I expected him to say he never walked along a beach. That would be weird. Probably scare the crap out of the crabs. Guess it's not a tiefling thing to do, huh?
Walk around along the beach? Maybe it perhaps is, but I hunt the undead. There's no undead along the beach normally.
Are you kidding me? Of course there is. There's undead along the beach, in the water. There's undead an entire ship's worth floating around, trying to find new crew. You're missing out. You should come check out the ocean sometime. I'm sure you'll find quite a few. Nice ripe ones, too. Real bloated, the kind you'd love, Kill.
I look at my armor and I say, I would sink quickly in the water.
Yeah? Get a water breathing spell.
Interesting thought.
I can't do it. Both of my sisters could. My one sister, Jihan, she's like, she was eager to cast water breathing on anyone who wanted it. She was like a travel advisor for the seas. Wanted everyone to come down, take a look. Never saw much point in that. Most of the ones that tried to come in and could breathe can't handle the pressure and the cold anyway.
It's so cold down there.
Yeah. Like no sun.
Ah.
Aren't there sea tieflings?
Not that I'm aware of. There probably are, considering how demons are anyway.
I mean, I've heard of sea devils. I've never seen one.
Doesn't mean they don't exist.
I don't suppose anyone remembers what we're supposed to do next, besides take this crocodile back and make nice with the lizard folk.
I think that's it. It's what we're supposed to do.
Wasn't Sea Devil a nickname for the Sahagin at one point?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
So I was like sitting there going, I've heard that term before, and it wasn't used to apply against them. Because in fact, that was the, that's what the Alliance is coming in for. But in fact, that's this is a GM reminder because it has been a couple of weeks. One of the reasons why the reasons why you aren't doing this is because it will endear you more to the lizard folk, who would then be more willing to trust the people of Saltmarsh into their alliance, because it'll benefit the people from Saltmarsh too to deal with the Sahagin that have managed to cause these group of lizard folk to come inland.
Yeah.
Because they are a coastal area. And Sahagin will threaten them eventually. If not, there's the ships that are coming back and forth. And the little guy. So, just give me a quick survival check for that cooking process. See how well it goes. Alright. Some of the steaks are lightly charred, but they look edible enough.
Okay. I'll pack them up again now they're cooked. They'll keep longer.
Yes.
Cut off a sliver and try a bit. Make sure it's good.
And that'll just require a Constitution saving throw at advantage to see if it's alright. Yeah, it's fine. In fact, it's actually quite good. Even though you burned it some, it's still quite good.
It's like pork.
All right. Who's on first watch?
I think I am, because I'm cooking.
So roll perception check.
Me in the tree.
Yeah. So off in the distance, now that it's nighttime, you see a couple of figures. Kind of human size, but they appear to be some kind of lizard folk, coming from somewhere in the north, and they seem to be stopping close by the pool of thousand teeth, and noticing the fact that there is a body of a crocodile there, missing a head.
Hmm. How many?
You see 4 of them.
I'll poke the treant.
Trant is gazing at them and looks over at you. Do you think they are hostile?
I was going to ask you the same thing.
Well, the lizard folk have yet to trouble me, so I do not know how they respond to me. But you said you are friends with lizard folk, did you not?
Well, we're on good terms with some of them, but I think those are coming from the wrong direction.
Ah, a different tribe then, is that what the term?
That would be it. Well, no sense in making a fuss over them yet. Wait and see what they do.
Alright.
Keeping an eye on them, though.
You see one of them poking at the body with a spear, and another 2 of them appear to be in deep conversation. The 4th starts picking up at the body of one of the snakes, and turns and starts making noises at the other 3. Together, you see them call up one of the giant snakes, and the 4 of them start carrying it off back to the north.
Okay. That's cool. I'll try to make note of any particular markings or modes of dress they might have had that's different than our lizard folk.
Alright. These particular lizard folk seem to have bands of red feathers attached to their armor. Sorry, some of their armor near the shoulders and on their spears.
Okay. Alright. I see no reason to make mention of it until someone else's watch. Might be Volan, I don't know.
I could take the next watch.
Alright.
Try a piece of that meat, it's good. By the way, I saw a handful of lizard folk coming from the north up there. They stopped by our lake. They poked the body of the croc. They took one of the giant snakes back with them. They're wearing a bunch of red feathers. I don't think they were from the tribe we're dealing with.
We'll keep it in mind. We should probably note it when we head back to the other. Yeah, we'll just make note for now and address it later.
Yep.
All
So we can get back just in time for them to say, "Oh, you saw our ancient enemies, the red feather lizards. We are going to make war on them. You must help us."
I mean, did you not want to mention it then?
Oh no, I'll mention it to them. Just, running this scenario in my head.
So we can discuss it with the group in the morning.
I wonder if that crocodile was one of theirs. Pet. Oh well, they didn't seem too upset. I think if they paid any attention, they'd have seen us. Maybe they did.
I'll make sure to keep an eye out. If we think they're a threat, we could always follow through in the morning. Maybe head that way if that's something we wanted to do. But for now, I guess we hope they don't come back.
Reach over and poke a thigh. Probably do a decent crocodile tattoo right there.
I mean, if it's as good as the first one you gave me, I'm certainly happy to sit for another one.
Let me think on it. I've got some ideas in mind. I'm not going to do it out here. And once we get back, I have some time to do it properly.
Sure.
I'm not tired yet. I'm going to sit right here next to you and probably doze off. I've got to meditate.
Sure, while she's doing that, I'm going to try some of the steak she made.
Alright, give me a constitution saving throw.
Ooh.
Yeah. It doesn't taste very good, unfortunately. Your palate, in spite of your, being a half orc and everything, and and a barbarian at that, this really does not taste very good.
Topaz, you're an excellent chef. This is very good.
Oh, well, thank you. I thought it was pretty good. Have some more. There's plenty. You got some to take back. They can spare a little bit.
Oh, I'm very full, but thank you, Topaz. It's very good, though.
You're full already?
You know, it's very filling.
You don't like it, do you? You're so full of shit.
I can't even beat that. I can't.
Wow, you certainly tried, though.
Certainly tried.
There's an awkward moment as we're staring at each other.
Oh, the worst timing of a nat 20, but it's not even useful.
Oh my god. Topaz, it's very good. Let's just leave it at that. You should really think on sketching up some of those I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah, okay, fine. Change the subject. I don't care. You don't have to like it. What do I know? I'm just throwing it over a fire. I'm no cook.
No, it's not the way you cooked it. It's just a different type of meat. That's it.
I like different types of meat.
Well,
I think you like different types of meat too. Just saying.
I think you might have a point there. Listen, why don't you go to sleep while I keep watch?
Yeah, might as well just say, why don't you let me stew over here in my being uncomfortable in the double entendres.
I'm gonna
Topaz.
kiss her to shut her.
That works.
Yep.
Testing.
Pass.
Sorry, I thought I accidentally pulled the microphone out. Alright. So, roll me a perception check. Person on second watch. Yeah, you gaze into the night sky, gaze around the night camp, and the lizard folk that you saw Topaz saw before doesn't seem to return. Everything seems to be, pretty quiet. Eventually, I believe Topaz is, drifting off into her meditation. And Lobu is still in his. Noxie is fast asleep. Old man Dovin is recovering all of his hit points. Who's on third watch?
I'll take third.
Alright.
As we're switching off, I'll say to Dread, Topaz said she saw some lizard folk around Thousand Thieves Cave. They had red feathers, so might be from another tribe. Keep an eye out for her.
Alright, I'll watch for them.
All right, and I'll head to bed.
Okay.
Alright, roll me a perception check, please, Dread.
Yeah, I'm really good at those too. See how good I am at it?
Oh! The best.
Yeah. So, at some point, Dread, you find yourself just kind of nodding off in the middle of your watch. Thankfully, nothing bad happens. So by the time that Lobu, gets out of his trance, you're fast asleep and, he's up and watching things.
Okay.
This will be the final watch, so let me roll a perception for Lobu. Lobu sees all. So Lobu doesn't see anything interesting either. But he is up and awake and watching as everybody else finally comes to. The ground might have been uncomfortable, but everybody got a long rest and healed up.
Excellent.
Hooray.
Which is especially good for Dovin, who was nearly killed.
Yep, pretty close.
Yeah, speaking of that, Dovin, how do you feel today?
Much, much better. Thank you.
That's good.
Got stretching and I miss Callie, but probably won't be able to get her back until we go back to town.
I forgot about that. You're gonna need to resummon Callie.
Yeah. I need a bit more incense, so unfortunately, maybe the lizard folk will have some.
You need incense to summon a crab.
Yeah, well, she exists in the Feywild, so bringing her here to have a physical form here, not the most simple thing I've ever done, but yeah, just a bit of incense helps me get into a trance to call for her.
Oh, the incense is for you to get in a trance.
Basically, yeah.
Druids are weird.
I'm not going to disagree with you, and I don't take offense.
All right, the quicker we go, the quicker we're back.
Agreed.
Just a quick question. Mr. Triant, sir?
The Treant gazes down at Volan. Yes? What can I do for you?
Did you plan on heading all the way back with us to the lizard folk?
I suppose I can do that. Is there something you needed me to do?
No, I was just curious. I wanted to know if you'd be following us.
If that is a problem, I can always head back off.
Oh, not a problem at all for me, at least. I was just wondering. I know you had that problem with the druids. I don't know if you wanted to address it directly with the lizard folk, or if you wanted us to do that for you.
Either way is fine. I can attempt to talk to them if that's all right with them. If they'll talk to me, I'm not sure if they are interested in talking to me.
Sure. Just curious. Again. If there's nothing else, you guys want to head out?
No, I'm good. I'll go ahead and give a good old ritual cast to Tensor's floating disc so we can have the head follow.
Now, if I recall right, you managed to get a loan from Carly, one of her that raft that collapses.
I believe that's correct. Yes.
All right. So yeah, because the treant can't get on that. You might be able to fit the crocodile head back on there, but after you bet the treant, you guys were just mostly walking along the bank. It's up to you if you wish to continue to walk along back south, or if you wish to unfold the raft and get back on that.
I'm good either way. My gut reaction is to say let's go ahead and get on the raft and bid adieu to the treant, but I'm also totally fine with having the protection of the treant as we walk back.
I think I'm about the same.
I'm just gonna flick Topaz on the arm. What about you? What do you want to do?
Oh, I'd rather swim.
That's fair. We could use the raft for us. Tensor's floating disc. I don't know if the treant wants to head out. Whatever you guys.
I'll take the raft. Get back
Yeah.
there more quickly.
Noxie
We
is
can
fine with taking the raft, and I imagine Lobu would be swimming next to Topaz anyway. Now, in terms of travel times, floating on the raft will take you about 9 to 10 hours, depending. Walking, on the other hand, will probably take you about 13. So you decided to float. So that'll take you till the next evening, I believe. Probably around dinner time. It's
Perfect.
breakfast time now, so you'll probably arrive around dinner time.
Scouting in the water, make sure it's clear.
All right. Roll me a perception check. Yeah, everything seems to be fine around here. You see the occasional small but fairly harmless snake swim past, which seems to cause Lobu to, get on the other side of you.
I make sure to point them out. I'll make sure, if I see him before he does, I'll come up, grab the side of the raft, and point. Quickly say, "Lobo, snake!"
So, yeah, I imagine Lobu is freaking out at every opportunity to saying, "Snake, you're possibly coming back into the raft." But yeah. So the first 3 hours are fine. Do you wish to continue your watch?
For the watch.
For keeping watch as the raft continues down
Yeah.
south. All right. The next 3 hours. Yeah, the next 3 hours is just as quiet.
Perfect.
You don't even see those floating crocodiles, the smaller ones, that you did before. Yeah. And for the final 3 hours before you make it back. Perception check, please.
I keep going steadily down.
Yeah. So yeah, there's nothing to note in the water.
That's good. Not see it.
All right. Artifacts. My cat is climbing into places he has not climbed in before, where there's potentially breakable things.
That's what cats do.
Yeah. He didn't used to do that, though. I guess because he hasn't been sneezing quite as much as he used to, so that's good. Allergy season is gone for him, as I'm thinking. He's still got like a little bit of trace, but he's like not sneezing the way he was. So I'm thinking that maybe before he wasn't feeling so good, even though he seemed so hyper anyway, and now he's even more hyper. But that's cute. It's okay. So let's see. You guys managed to do that. Your treant friend came, is taking some time to get there based on, compared to what you guys are doing. Lizard folk lair. And you guys make it all the way back to the lair with your trove of goodies. The head and everything else like that. The lizard folk at the door, see what you're carrying in on the disc, and step aside to let you pass. They kind of like give you this significant nod.
I'll greet them. I forgot to translate for everybody. I'll greet them in Draconic as we come in and ask to see the queen.
The one at one of the ones at the front door nods and waves a hand, bringing over one of the scout escorts, who brings you guys all the way back to the training room, where the queen is currently instructing people. And give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, they bring you back to the queen, and she sees what you have offering, and you hear various mutterings in Draconic around you, mostly like, wow, those of you who understand Draconic, hear things like, wow, look at that, they actually did it. And you get the impression that many of the lizard folk here are actually quite impressed at your at what you've done.
Oh, and also dump out the knapsack. I bring some of its meat.
Well then, so the queen says, taking a look at the meat and addressing you in common, perhaps then we shall have this as a feast. You have done quite well, and I thank you for that.
Oh, and by the way, while we were there, saw some other lizard folk. They wore red feathers. They took note of the death of Thousand Teeth and took one of the snakes that we killed back with them.
I imagine that they are likely from a tribe to the north or to the east. There have been occasional reports of other lizard folk in the area, but since we are essentially the foreigners here, we've been trying to stay out of their way and avoid open conflict with them as well.
So they have no love for you. It's a truce of
No
sorts.
love for us, no hate for us. I imagine they would prefer that we are not hunting in anything that could be considered their territory. But since we do hope to be moving on from here as soon as we deal with the Sahagin, they shouldn't be much of a problem anymore. Not for us.
Is there any chance you think that they would help with the Sahagin?
I tend to find that very doubtful. However, if you wish to take it on your own initiative to reach out to them and attempt to assist with that, you can be my guest at that venture.
Well, I'm not opposed to such a mission. I believe our talents would best be served elsewhere.
Do as you like. For now, we have a bargain struck, do we not?
Yes, we do.
Very well. I will send emissaries back with you to the people of Saltmarsh once you leave. I imagine you will do so in the morning. We do have a feast for tonight, and your offering will accompany that.
I believe that's fine with us. Look around.
Mm-hmm.
There is one more thing.
Yes?
We wouldn't have been able to take down Thousand Teeth without the help of a very amicable treant. There are evil druids destroying the forest near here, well, near Thousand Teeth, and he wanted to know if he can maybe garner some support against them. I know it's not really our place to offer that, so I just wanted it to come to your attention.
Yes. We do have our claws mostly full with the Sahagin and the Alliance. However, we might be able to add some support to assist you, perhaps. Give us a few days. Perhaps after you bring the emissaries back, if you wish to return here, we will have something for you to assist with this druid issue. And if not, it is fine by us.
Thank you, you're very generous.
Yes. Is there anything else you wish to address with me?
Not on my end.
Very well. Soon we shall feast. Go and enjoy the yourselves.
Thank you.
She barks a few orders in Draconic to her people, mostly along the lines of taking the meat offerings to the kitchen to prepare them properly for meal, including the head of the Thousand Teeth. She's basically suggesting preparing whatever meat that can be prepared from the head itself, and then mounting the skin and skull in the main chamber. That's a place of honor.
Perfect. Just what we always want.
So, what would you guys like to do?
I'd like to either find one of the shamans or find what's her name?
Carly?
Carly. Yes, thank you. To ask about buying incense.
Alright. Yeah. Well, colorful Carly is easy to spot. Once again, in the dining hall. You also see several hatchlings, aka children, running around blowing fish bubbles. They literally turn themselves into bubble fish. Like, as soon as you blow into them, instead of just a sphere, they become fish and start swimming through the air. Which, again, is captivating Noxie as she watches them.
Oh my, those look very fun, don't they?
Noxie is nodding rapidly.
Hey, Carly, you look. Seems business is going well for you.
Kylie grins. Yes, 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 very well. And how are you doing, Dovin?
Not too bad. We were successful in our endeavor and our hunt. I was just wondering if you, perchance, had any incense to sell.
Oh, sure, sure. I can sell you some incense.
Cool. Let me double check. See how much I actually need to get.
And how much do you need?
I'll take 40 gold worth.
Alrighty. Easy enough. She reaches down into one of her many bags of holding of specialty marks and pulls forth 40 gold worth of incense. Here you go.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're quite welcome, Dovin. So, how did you guys fare?
Hang on, I'm doing math and I'm very bad at it. Oh, we fared very well. We made a friend with a tree, and we found some bad druids, which concerns me quite a bit.
Really? Bad druids, you say?
Yeah, awakening tree blights and
Well,
screaming nonsense.
any kind of blights, that's not a good sign now, is it?
No, it baffles me that someone would do such a thing, but it's the world we live in, I suppose.
Hmm.
Anything noteworthy going on around here? How's those shamans doing?
The shamans seem shamany. They continue their worship of Voos. As for how it's going here, there's an air of tension, of course, since they're anticipating fight, but I have been keeping the little ones entertained. She grins as some of the children just come by.
How much
running
for one of
around with
those?
bubbles. Oh, well, is this for you, or is it for... And she looks over towards the, Noxie, who's still got her eyes fixed on the bubbles.
It's for Max.
How about I just give you one for making such a nice purchase of of that incense? And she, goes and reaches into the bag of holding that seems to be marked for toys, and pulls out one of the bubbles, the bubble potions.
That's very kind of you, and I'll give her a wink and accept the gift.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
Also, I was curious if you have another minute. Do you know what this is? And I'm going to pull out the feather with the bird motif.
Oh, that's pretty. It's been a
We
while
found
since I've
this
seen
among-
one of these. But if memory holds, she kind of touches the feather and twirls it about. Why, it's a feather it's a feather token for a bird. A quail's feather token. And if you hold it up, toss it into 5 feet in the air, it'll disappear, and then an enormous multicolored bird will come in its place. It obeys
What?
you. It will obey you, but you can't attack. It can't attack, but it can carry up to 500 pounds while flying at maximum speed, which is 16 miles an hour for a maximum of 144 miles per day.
Wow, that's impressive.
It can also carry up to 1,000 pounds at half that speed. And you can
Wow.
also dismiss the bird as an action, and it'll turn back into a feather token.
Oh, that's what a find. Thank you.
Well, it's a useless token after that. It just kind of turns into a feather, but it's
Oh,
one of those
okay.
things that she thinks for a moment that if you find the right enchanter, you should be able to pour an enchantment back into it.
Huh.
But basically, you'll have a giant carrying bird with you until it dies. if that's what you want.
Oh, it just stays.
Yes.
Okay.
But like I said, it's useless in combat. It's basically
Right.
just a great big traveling bird.
Right.
Useful for traveling far distances.
I'm sure we're gonna have fun with this.
That's literally terrifying.
This bird can fly 16 miles per hour and carries 500 pounds. That's the
16. 16.
That's so weird.
I mean, it's only 4 times a fast walking pace.
Well, that's awesome. Okay, cool. Thank you. I'm gonna go. I guess I'll go back to the group wherever they are. I'm gonna give Noxie the fish bubble thing and watch her play with it for a bit, and then go find the rest of the group and tell them about our new bird friend. And then go to. I think that's it for me. Oh, I guess I'll go ahead and resummon Callie when I get the chance.
Alright. Hi, Lyra. Alright, so you're getting Callie back. What else are the rest of you guys doing?
All right, Volan, come over here.
Okay. You're not so mad at me, are you?
What if I was?
Are you gonna give me a tattoo? Because I'd rather
Yes.
you didn't give me a tattoo when you're mad at me.
Maybe that's the very best kind of tattoo. Imbued with a little rage.
Topaz, if you dig into my skin, I'm going to get very upset.
Oh, you big baby. Sit there. Take it. Take it.
Fine. Just please don't mess up. This is on my skin permanently, please.
I know.
This is a really bad idea. I don't like this.
I have to do it while it's in my head. Otherwise, I'll forget.
Okay. Fine. Fine. Just be careful.
What should I use for this? Dex? I don't remember what we used last time.
Well, it's basically a dex or an int, depending. Are you basically putting a a stencil down on her first, or are you doing it freehand?
Put it freehand.
All right. So let's do a bit of int as a first check on this, and then dex.
Is one roll more important than the other, or doesn't matter?
Well, they're both important because you're trying to, use your intelligence to get it done right, and then you're using dexterity to make sure that your hands stay steady.
All right. Well, I have an inspiration I've never used. I'll use it on the intelligence check. Or it's tattoo artist using intelligence.
Yeah. If you roll too low, yeah, you can re-roll with your inspiration. Let's see what you get first. Alright, that's actually looking pretty good.
All right. Then Dex. Let's see.
You see the picture clear in your mind. Now you just need a steady hand to execute it.
Oh my god. I have two perfect.
Yeah, and you didn't even need your inspiration for all this because it came out really
Cool.
nice. So yeah, you basically think about it for a minute and just consider and caress her skin, and then start carefully, very carefully applying your tattoo ink to it. And you come up with a perfect tattoo for her. Perfectly executed.
It looks like just crocodile splashing his way up, mouth open out of the water, with scintillating colors along the scales, the whole 9 yards. sit back and look at it. I think that's some of my better work. I should
You're
do it when
very
I'm mad
good
all
at
the
that.
time.
You're very good at that. I'm sorry I doubted you. If you'd like, I can repay you after dinner, and I'm gonna wink at her.
I look at you. Do you have something in your eye? What was that?
Just every time I've tried it, I'm sorry, but yeah, we can talk after dinner if you'd.
Oh, you were trying to wink.
No. It's something in my eye. I would never embarrass myself like that.
Uh-huh. You're a terrible liar.
I know.
So
Well, as it so happens, I have no plans after dinner. So there you go. I'm free.
Dope.
And speaking of dinner, the dinner bell for the lizard folk begins to ring in the main hall.
Ding, ding, ding.
And the queen and the various folks all gather to the various tables that are in there.
Looking over at Dovin. So Dovin's been our spokesperson, right? Pretty much.
Yeah, since he speaks Draconic, and only a handful of the people here speak Common.
Last chance, I think, to make an impression on them. Right? If we're going to go back and hope that they're willing to work with the people of Saltmarsh, not kill them.
Yeah, they agree. Hey.
So that's all you. Rest of us will sit and make faces. Fuck it up.
I'm not the best at that. If somebody else wants to, I'll translate. Oh boy. Are you sure this is a good idea?
You're asking Topaz if she thinks it's a good idea. It was her idea. She came up with it. Of course she thinks it's a good idea. She's just enjoying putting you on the spot.
I'm aware.
She doesn't really care if you screw it up or not. She's going to sit back and be amused by it either way.
Oh, boy.
You got it. You got it, champ. You go for it. You speak the language.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm feeling suddenly a bit squeamish.
Even Callie's got you back.
Snip, 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 snip.
Damn it, Callie.
The little crab just kind of shimmies her way onto Dovin's head. And seems to be giving Topaz the crab eye. And with snip, snip, snip.
Wait, Crab, does that count as a creature that has an innate swimming speed?
Yeah.
Perfect, I can talk with her.
Yep.
What are you saying, Crab?
Saying is that you better not be throwing Dovin under the bridge.
Oh, Dovin's thrown himself under the bridge long before now. I'm just applauding. Your master's the only one one of the few that speaks the language of these people. Who better? You've got a great master. We all are counting on him. You should count on him too. Give him a boost of confidence.
So, Callie is just going to pat Dovin with a claw.
Oh boy. So what's everybody in the room doing?
Well, all the lizard folk are starting to chow down. There is a huge cauldron of some kind of stew or soup that's been brought in, and people are getting bowls of it. And some of the higher ups, like the queen and such, have some of that steak in front of them as well.
Oh boy.
There's also various platters of other, cooked meats and roasted vegetables.
Okay, well, I'm gonna. I'm gonna stand up very awkwardly and just sort of look around the room, like half expecting people to stop eating and look at him, but I have a feeling that nobody is actually gonna.
The lizard folk seem to be pretty good at multitasking. You see a few eyes turn your way, but the eating does not stop.
Good evening, everyone.
Is this in common or draconic?
I start in common out of nervousness, and then I realize that I'm being a dum-dum, and I'll switch to draconic. Thank you all for inviting us into your home. We are happy to have done this service for all of you. If you would be interested in, hearing about our battle with the ferocious thousand teeth, I can tell you.
The queen, as you can see, is now looking at you, but she nods her head. Well, the eating does not stop. Some of the other conversations in the room seem to have quieted down, giving you the air, as it were. Poor Dovin.
Poor Dovin. I don't even know what to say. I guess it's just gonna very awkwardly stumble through the battle. So he'll start with how we journeyed up and met the treant and fought some rats, and he's gonna very awkwardly describe the rats and how he talked to them, how he talked to the tree and couldn't even say the tree's name, but the tree is very nice. And then he's going to talk about how they went up to the marsh and then failed to set up the trap because they didn't bother to look up into the tree and see the giant snakes and how we almost got eaten by the snakes. But then the tree ant helped a lot, and then Thousand Teeth came out of the ground, and then we fought the Thousand Teeth, and Callie got hurt, but everybody was okay because the tree ant smashed it, and Topaz and everybody else, Volan and Dread, and we all fought the Thousand Teeth, and eventually chopped his head off, and we brought it back to you. Thank you. Okay, bye.
It's seems like your story is met with some mixed approval. Some will join in awkwardly in the applause with Topaz.
No, no.
Noxie is holding a card that reads applause and giving you a thumbs up. But Lebu's just grinning at you.
Well, that was horrible.
Yeah,
Are we doing that again?
I'll applaud, but I didn't understand a word of that.
Most of us didn't.
Probably better that you didn't.
They're more gauging the reaction in your face, the ones of your companions that I'm currently NPCing. But speaking
Look over at Dove, and I run a finger along my forehead. I say, Dove, got a little sweat.
Oh, thank you. I'm not so good with the public speaking, as it were.
Dove, I thought you did very good.
I appreciate the vote of confidence.
Carly at that point shows up behind you and grins wide. I think you did quite well there, Dovin.
Thank you. At least you could understand what I was saying.
Yes, I did. And you told a great story. She kind of looks over towards the rest of you and says, and he painted you all as heroes and himself as a bumbling fool. She smiles.
Ouch.
And she kind of like leans in and whispers towards Devin, just go with it.
Yes. That's exactly what I did. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't believe that. But that's fine. Main thing is, are they happy with us? We should be able to go back to Saltmarsh and tell them that they might be able to open up avenues of trade. Legitimate avenues of trade, not smuggling ships.
Also, potentially military alliances, too.
Yep, Carly agrees. The Sahagin are going to be a problem along the coast eventually. Right now, the people are all convinced that the sea princes are the real problem, but, the Sahagin left unchecked.
Sea princes? No. You just have a bunch of stuffed shirts sitting around pretending to be lords over sections of water. They'll be corrected soon enough if the Sahagin come ashore.
Didn't I hear you say something about that you wanted to deal with the pirates, Topaz?
Well, of course.
Yeah, so you're not going to just leave them to the Sahagin, are you?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to stop the Sahagin from eating them, but
Well, I wouldn't either. I'm just saying is that the people on the coast are more concerned with with those pirates, the sea princes, than they are because they haven't seen the Sahagin as a threat yet.
Are you suggesting that we eliminate them, or I'm not sure what?
Oh, well, I really just want to do sales. I don't really. I was just saying, and she, kind of tries to backpedal her comments.
No, I think you have a point. Pirates are a threat to everyone. I don't know what you were suggesting.
I was just saying is that the reason why, you're gonna lend an air of necessity for this alliance. I'm taking it with the people of Saltmarsh. Without you there to guide them along, these the lizard ambassadors, they might just forget how bad the Sahagin might be.
so you want us to impress upon them how bad it's going to be.
I'm just suggesting. I mean, she shrugs. I mean, what do I know? I'm just a traveling saleswoman.
I think you know more than you let on. That's what I think.
Oh, really? She leans her elbows on the table and puts her chin in her hands and smiles at Topaz.
Don't try to pull the charming and coy act with me, Land-dweller. I don't trust most of your kind. But you're a salesman if I've ever seen one. And I've seen more than a few. Generally trying to sell snake oil to somebody for some false pretense or another.
Well, I don't have any snake oil, but I do have those fun bubbles that I sold to the kids around here.
Right. But if you have any influence over the council, you might want to say a word yourself if you think that it's worth saying.
I don't have any influence over them. I mean, I haven't done too much business around Salt Saltmarsh after all. But who knows where I'll end up next?
Who knows?
Think my
Speaking of which, are you going back with us or are you staying here?
oh, I do plan on traveling on from here, yes. But I don't think I'll be coming back with you just now. Unless you have a reason you wish me to come back with you. Do you have a reason? Her eyebrows kind of wing up.
Me? No.
And she reaches out and taps Topaz on the nose. Didn't think so.
Stare at her.
And she stares right back with a big grin. And she just kind of lifts up and stands still.
Look over to Volin. Let's get out of here.
Sounds good to me.
And I think it's time we take a 5-minute break to get a drink or bathroom and such.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Sure.
So is everyone back?
I'm
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I think I only heard 3 people, unless 2 people were talking at once.
Dolan's here.
I'm here.
Topaz, are you here? Okay, it's looking like Topaz is AFK. Alrighty then. Don't know when or if MB will be able to join us. I know they're still he's still listening. You back, Topaz?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Guess we're all ready to restart. So yeah, Carly is Carly just booped your nose and moved back a bit.
I'm watching Topaz intently.
Well, Topaz left with Roland.
Ah. Alright.
Gone off to be alone. And Carly is still there in the room.
I'll just stay in the room. Nothing else to do.
So eventually the meal comes to a close. The steaks have all been eaten. The lizard folk seem to think they were just fine. The stew, which you discover later, was made from the head that you brought with you.
Head stew.
Yes. Along with a few other things. Has all been consumed. And the various lizard folk are all going off to get some sleep. What are the rest of you going to be doing now? Dovin and Dread.
I think I'm going to maybe look out for the emissaries that we'll be bringing back with us to Saltmarsh.
Alright.
But other than that, just taking note of who they are, I think I'm going to go to sleep.
Okay. Yeah, so you discover that the emissaries in question are 2 somewhat older lizard folk. They've been around, a while and picked up common. They're young, vital warriors. So it looks like perhaps this is a duty that they've been assigned based on that.
Yeah, after staying in the dining hall for a while, I'll go to sleep as well.
I imagine Noxie and Lubu have already conked out back in your guest quarters. Or elsewhere if Volan and Topaz are currently using them. As this has been implied heavily. And so the night passes without incident. Safe there in the lizard folk lair. Lizard folk do not bother any of you. The only problem is that your sleeping quarters have been occupied by the pair of Volan and Topaz.
But it is to be young.
Well, yeah. If Dredd hears the sounds coming from the room, she'd go back to the dining hall for a while.
And I think both Noxie and Lube. Well, Noxie would be sprawled out somewhere. Lubu, on the other hand, would be meditating because he's a sea elf. But yeah. So, well, you get occasional funny looks. None of the lizard folk disturb you. I think some of them have passed by the quarters and realized that, well, you apparently have a thing against walking in on people when they're busy.
No, they don't.
It seems to be a cultural thing with them.
Great. You just walk right in. Don't mind me. Keep going.
So, once the morning comes, and some of you are a bit tired, though not exhausted, thankfully. What do you guys wish to do?
Roll out of bed and go down to the river. Jump in before breakfast.
Alright. I imagine Lubu's doing something similar. Or perhaps even down there trying to catch those fish. Even if there's already breakfast being served, he has a thing for that.
Yeah, I'll head out to the dining hall and try to see if I find any of my group members.
I'd be in the dining hall, just waiting for.
Yeah, I'll go meet up with Trey.
Yeah, I think Noxie is there and holds up and holds up a card saying, "Have a nice night."
Yeah, Noxie, I did have a nice night. Did you have a nice night?
She holds up her very wrinkled and battered no card.
I'm sorry about that.
When Dolan finishes his morning meditation to select his spells, he's gonna.
Oh, by the way, that's what I
join
forgot to do.
everybody.
You guys are also now level 4 as you're waking up.
Level 4?
Yep.
Ooh.
Oh, the agony of choices. Oh. Much as I want to take a feat, I think I have to do the attribute.
Huh. Yeah, I think I'll do a feat.
Wow, good HPs.
We at 20 strength, baby.
Nice.
Super strong barbarian.
We're rolling or taking the average, or
You can do whichever you wish. Roll or take the average.
Okay.
how did you make it roll the average like that?
There was a button in Character Mancer
Oh.
that I misclicked by.
See what- Interesting. Let's see.
Now, is there anything you guys would like to do in this morning, other than as you come down and start eating your breakfast and exchanging pleasantries, or the annoyed looks of party members who didn't get a good night's sleep last night?
I don't really look annoyed. I just watch them and smile as they come in and chuckle.
Come
Yeah.
in. Oh, I'm so hungry.
Yeah, Volan's looking everywhere except at the group members.
Morning.
Yeah, you find various strange fruits, some leftover cooked vegetables from the night before, and a few strips of some unidentifiable meat. And of course, since Carly is around, she also has cupcakes made for you. Both kinds.
Fish cakes.
Loxy takes a chocolate cupcake for herself.
That was easy. It was a quick level. Boom, boom.
So, did you end up going attributes?
Yeah. Until you can get that 20 in the attribute, it's always better, I think. Feats are great, but
Yeah, I guess it always depends on the feat.
like I was looking hard at the racial feat, the elven accuracy, because the way it's worded, I mean, technically, all my attacks are made with dex. So,
Yep, if
but
it's something that affects dex and that doesn't specify missile or
right,
range,
doesn't. I was looking hard at it. I'm like, oh wow, that would be pretty good.
this
As
is
long as I have
dex.
advantage. Honestly, it's like our fights end up so crazy. It's always hard to tell if you're going to have advantage or not. So, I think the 20 dex is just I get more out of it. Does much more overall. Take a feat at 8th.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. Hold up.
Can you guys still hear me, by the way? My cat is currently sitting in front of my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Just want to double check. So, today and the next couple of days, I believe, you have a task, or rather, next day and a half, you have the task to escort 2 emissaries from lizard folk over to Saltmarsh. Going 20 miles to the west.
Okay.
No.
We're going downriver at that point, right? Or
But you're heading towards the back towards the ocean or Gulf. So I'm thinking you're going upriver.
no, rivers flow to the sea.
Okay, they flow to the sea. Yeah, I can never remember. I'm always bad with that. But trying to remember which goes which.
Yeah, we were coming upstream to get here.
Gotcha.
So
If that's the case, then it might only take a day to get here. To get back,
same as
because
before.
you'd be traveling faster.
Cool. And were there lizard folk coming with us?
Yes, there are 2 lizard folk coming back with you. But now you're also minus Carly, since she said she's staying here and leaving another way. But she hasn't taken the raft back, so you still have a raft.
Cool. So she's not traveling with us, Carly.
Nope, she has plans to stay here a little bit longer and then move on somewhere else. Is there any business the rest of you wish to conduct right now before you leave?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
I'm good.
Alright then. So, your 2 new emissaries that are joining with you for now. Sorry. Convene with you outside the lair. And go to inspect your curious raft. The one that Carly has essentially given you on permanent loan basis. This is interesting, says one, kind of poking at it a bit. How does it fold and unfold like this?
It's one of the great mysteries of our dear friend Carly. What are your names?
Is it some kind of magic?
Yes, I believe so.
One second. Naming people is always my most difficult feat as a cheat.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, I was just looking for the name page because it has a whole list of lizard folk names here. And I figured I'll just use them. So the one says, "I am a choke," and the other says, "I am Derastrix."
Chalk and Durastrix. Nice to meet you.
They nod their heads a bit.
Would you prefer to ride on the raft or swim in the waters?
We can swim.
Well, if everybody else is ready to go, I think we can begin our journey to Saltmarsh.
I'm ready when you guys are.
I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
Oh, yay! We have a Lubu.
The woo.
Hey guys.
Welcome home, Lubu.
No.
Thank you. It was fun listening while I was driving and trying really hard not to interrupt.
I hope I did okay with the few times that I had Lebu say anything.
Oh yeah, for sure. Actually, if you don't mind, I'll roll for fish from this morning.
Go for it. I'm mostly a slightly better read on Noxie, I'm afraid. So I was able to actually do something with Noxie and feel confident with it, whereas it came to Lebu, I was like, I'm not sure.
Kind of the wild card.
Yeah. But that's okay, that's good.
Trigger.
How many trinkets did you get?
Two.
Alrighty. Switching over to the trinket page. Where's my trinket page? I know I marked it. Why can't I find it? Once again, my cat decides he needs to sleep at my back. Which makes it very difficult for me to actually sit properly. Oh, right, because I keep looking in the wrong book, that's why. Duh. Oh, Lubu, roll me a 1d2.
Sorry, a what? A what?
A 1d2. Basically flip a coin.
Could roll any dice and just do even and odd.
Cool. That'll work.
Alright. Thanks. Yeah, sorry, I only asked that when my hands are full of me looking through a book rather than be able to type in my thing. That's the page I keep looking for. So, you pulled up in your net a gold monocle frame without the lens and a vest with 100 tiny pockets. Basically a, what we would think of as more of a modernish fishing vest. That's the way I'm imagining it.
Appropriate.
So, nothing particularly special. Even the gold lensless monocle will probably not fetch that much in a shop.
He puts the vest on and immediately puts the monocle into one of the pockets.
And it barely fits in that little tiny pocket, but you managed to make it work. So you guys are outside now. You've just talked to the lizard folk and learned their names, and are heading back west towards Saltmarsh. What do you guys wish to do while you're on the water? Testing.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I was just making sure that the sound hadn't dropped, because that happens
Yeah.
sometimes.
I'll keep watch for above the water in case anything
Okay.
wants to bother.
Roll a perception check for me. Hi, Lyra. Nice. What's everyone else doing other than the watch? Just staying quiet?
Yeah, I'd just be sitting there quietly while watching the water.
I'll be swimming for the most part.
Okay, now the Dory song is in my head. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming. So, Dovin, as you're watching as the raft is down the water, about 2 hours in, you spot a handful of snakes, giant poisonous snakes, because you've encountered these before, swimming your way. About 6 of them. Oh, sorry. 4 of them. My bad, I was misreading something.
Oh my. I'm gonna sort of reach my hand in the water and splash it a bunch to get our swimmer friends and point out the snakes as best I can to people. Do they look closer to the ones that we fought on our way up here before, or more like the ones that we fought near 1,000 T?
Hold on one second. I believe more like the ones you fought up here before. Just same sort of thing that frightened Lubu a while ago.
Gotcha. So they were kind of aggressive.
Just a little bit, yep.
It was more of these.
Yes.
That's what you see. So, Topaz and Lubu, you're being informed of this. That there are snakes coming your way.
Lobu, as ungracefully as trying to get up onto the raft just as quick as possible.
I'm going to swim up some short distance right there in front of the raft. They're coming our way. I'll use Friend of the Sea and tell them, just keep going around. Nothing here for you to eat, only death.
Alright. Roll a persuasion check. Alright. In this case, it's actually a very low DC, so even that gives the snakes pause, and they turn and veer off at the last moment.
Keep an eye on them. Don't trust them.
Roll a perception check for me, please. Yeah, you watch them head off further until finally they happen to ambush a hapless seabird, or rather river bird, and pull it under.
Tap the raft. Look up. We're good to go.
Thanks for that.
They weren't that hungry. That would have been a bigger problem.
Alright.
I'm going to try to get a hold of Lobu's foot and pull him back in the water.
Level, you feel a hand at your foot. What do you do?
Oh my god, it's a snake! And just lose my mind. Yeah, I don't even think I'm going to resist. I think you pull me down.
face to face with Topaz.
Oh my gosh, where's the snake? Did you see the snake that pulled me in?
Yeah, I think it's still on you.
No!
You probably don't feel it. That's the venom. Makes you go numb.
Oh my god. Topaz, you have to save me.
You bonehead. Just swim.
Oh.
Embarrass me.
The two lizard folk with you kind of stare awkwardly at Topaz and Lebu.
I poke my head up and look at them, clonk myself in the head, and give a shrug. What are you gonna do? I know they don't understand me.
They understand common, but they don't understand you. You're very strange. You're a very strange individual as far as they're concerned.
No idea what they mean. Come back under the water.
So another couple of hours go by. Who's also watching?
And just looking at the water, I don't know if that's considered watching or not.
I would consider that watching. So perception check, please.
Again, I'm really great at those.
Dread, question for you, because you haven't been the one on watch that much. Do you have any of your special senses up while you're watching, or do you just watch things around you?
I think actually conquering presence is always active if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check.
Alright. Because I'd like to
Oh,
check that if that's the case.
No, it's not. Yeah, I wouldn't have anything up.
Okay, no, I just figured I'd check. So yeah, this tends to go by uneventfully.
Okay.
A few more hours go by. Who's watching now?
Lobu will take a watch.
Yeah. So, after a while of swimming, you and Topaz are both confronted with a horrible smell coming from the water as it starts turning darker the further west you go.
What? I'll try to figure out what's causing that.
Can the people above water see that
Yeah.
the water is gone?
It's turning darker, and there's this awful scent coming up from it. It's a bit sulfurish.
So it kind of smells like home.
Not exactly. It's kind of like, well, yeah, I guess it depends on where your home came from. Like maybe a parent or grandparent's home, but maybe not where you're born, depending.
Yeah.
What do we surmise could be causing this?
Roll a nature check. It might be natural decay, or perhaps there's some kind of pocket of sulfurous minerals, but it doesn't seem like it's the indication of a foreign planar presence. It just seems like naturally occurring sulfur.
It smells bad. The water is dark. How far does this dark water seem?
seems to be going on for about 60 feet through this water.
Is it the same temperature?
Actually, it's slightly warmer than the rest of the temperature around it.
And how hard is it to see through?
It's pretty much opaque. You can't see anything through it, not even your own hand as you try to swim.
All right. Well, I guess we'll crawl out of the water onto the raft. At least until we get through it.
Yeah, I'll follow suit on that.
I might be able to turn into something that can see through it, but I'm not sure I'd want to be in the water to see it.
Don't suppose anyone knows the shape water cantrip.
Not until next level.
Everybody says how much they hate shape water until they actually need it.
Oh no, it's a great cantrip, man. I had that for my my CF Warlock, Topaz's sister. I use that all the time. You find some very interesting.
I think my wizard has that too. I just heard some people making fun of it the other day.
I use that for waterboarding somebody we're interrogating.
Oh no, that is an awesome use of it.
We came across some fountain that water had to flow in it a certain way to activate it, and normally you'd have to go through this whole rigmarole to get pipes and everything set up right. And I'm like, I just moved some of the water from over here to there.
I bet the GM was staring at you.
GM was like, gave me inspiration for it. It's like, okay, you get
Yeah,
it works.
That's good, because there's two ways of approaching that. Like, the GM either gets really upset that this happened, or it's like, okay, inspiration.
I think I started to use it even to try to help somebody sober up. It's like, hey, do I have to see the water? Can I just move it?
Well, I can turn into a crab now, and I'll be able to see through it.
Do they have what is it, blind sight?
They do have blind sight.
Yes, that's not so much
So
see
now
as in sense things.
Right. So now that I'm level 4, I can actually turn into things that have swim speed. So, yeah.
You sure you want to do that?
You know, I think
I could feel it getting warmer.
I don't actually
You're
have
gonna go
to.
down there. You're liable to steam yourself.
I don't have to be in there.
Then we'll have no choice
there.
but to eat you.
Boy. I don't think that's quite how that works, but please don't eat me. I'm going to turn into a crab. A giant crab, actually.
A giant crab? Wow.
Yes. I believe I can. Should be able to.
How big is a giant crab? Is it medium sized, large? What is it?
It's medium.
Alright.
That's a lot of crab meat.
It is a lot of crab meat.
Yes. The Topaz and Lobu, you may have, or at least Topaz probably has, feasted on such a giant crab at some point.
How close are you to Salt Marsh?
Standing there.
You're about 4 hours off, I believe.
Then I'm just going to go ahead and burn an enhance ability to give him Bear's endurance. So you'll have advantage on Constitution checks, and you'll get 2d6 temporary hit points.
Ooh.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
On top of the crab form. Excellent.
Oh wow, good rolls on that too. Okay, so then I'll go ahead and just hop in the
Okay.
get warm. This crab form is larger than I thought it would be, but that's fine. But it is awfully fun to be like Kelly.
Yeah. So there is your giant crab. So you jump into the water, and yeah, it's warm, it stinks, and you start swimming downward.
Yeah, just get. I have, I believe, 30
Yeah, 30
feet
feet,
blind sense.
and passive perception of 9. So roll me a perception.
Well, I
check.
use my
Oh, that's right.
mental
You use your,
stats for
that's right.
wild
Your mental
shape.
stack stays on mental shape. Keep forgetting. Sorry.
That's fine. So I have 16 passive perception, but I'll go ahead and make an actual perception check.
Okay. Wow. So, well, this water is quite brackish. The further down you go, and the warmer it gets, you start seeing a small glow towards the bottom of things.
Am I thinking like this is lava or something?
Roll a nature check.
Rolling well tonight.
Yeah, you don't think this is, directly lava. However, you think that within the last couple of days since you last passed by here, some kind of thermal vent has opened up in the water underneath of here and is spewing sulfur and heat into this region. And now a bit of light.
Wow. Well, that's certainly fascinating. Is there anything like in the anything? Am I near the opening in the ground? Like
It is
how-
getting warmer and warmer, so roll me a Constitution saving throw.
what saving throw?
Constitution, which you have advantage on currently because of the spell that Lebu cast on you.
True. Thank you, Labu.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is getting pretty hot, but you're still maintaining.
Okay. I guess I'll stay down here for another 6 or 12 seconds to see if I can find anything noteworthy other than the opening in the ground here before I swim back up.
Roll an investigation check. You scout around a bit using your blind sense, but nothing's moving other than yourself, and the small bit of light that's issuing up from this vent that you've intuited doesn't seem to be enough to illuminate the area around you, just to make note that there's light rather than pure darkness here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and swim back up. And yeah, I'll go ahead when I get back to the top. I'll revert to my and tell everybody about the vent in the ground. This seems really unusual for it to happen here. It also got really hot. I'm not sure any of us could stay down there for super long. Maybe you, Dread, but you probably don't want to be down there in the first.
I've seen such things in the sea. I've not seen them in a river. That's very strange. You sure it was natural?
I'm not sure it was. I mean, there didn't seem to be anything like, it wasn't like or anything crazy like that, but
Do you have a volcano around here?
An underground volcano? I don't know.
From what you guys know of this region, there are the mountains to the south.
How far is that?
I'm gonna pull out my map. I know I have put together a bit of a key to show distance a little while ago. Let's see if I remember. Here it is. The Dunwater, Salt Marsh, somewhere to the south. Actually, it looks like it's 4 to 8 miles from your current location. Maybe as many as 10. So between 4 and 10 miles. Oh, sorry. That 4 millimeters is 10 miles. So yeah, that's actually about 10 miles away.
Looking that direction, do we see any like smoke coming from the mountains?
Roll a perception check.
Ooh.
Are there any tracks or signs that this could be something made it, like something climbing out of the water? Or the sea devils, whatever we called them, the Sahagins? Could they have made these?
With your investigation check, you did not find any tracks.
It makes no sense. Our scholars postulate the vents deep in the sea are when the seawater goes through cracks in the ocean bottom and hits hot rock below, coming up and causes the steam. But that's at great depths. Certainly
Right.
not in a river. I don't understand that.
I mean, I can go back down and take a closer look. Let myself get a little hot down there, but I don't know what I'll be able to find.
I don't mind going with you and assisting if you're gonna go down again.
I'd go down too, but we can't see.
It's a good point.
I don't want to bring Callie because she'd be cooked alive. Do we think it's worth another look, or should we move along and
And I think
ask people in town?
it's really not a danger, I don't think. But if it gets worse, or if there's more of them, it could definitely disrupt your raft traffic on the river.
Hmm.
And it's going to start killing some of the local fauna.
Yeah, that was a concern of mine. If this is probably going to spread, just this one. Do we have a way of clogging this? How big was the hole?
It didn't look very big. It was more of, I want to say basketball sized would be the best way to describe it.
I wonder if we could just pick up a rock and push it into the hole.
I'm not sure about that. The pressures that they exert are great.
Mm-hmm. True.
That's like trying to cork nature. I don't think you're going to be able to do that.
Probably not.
Well, I don't know much else to do about it besides going past and letting them know back in Salt Marsh.
Yeah, I mean, even if that's basically our only option. Without knowing what caused this, yeah. I think we should probably move on and then keep it in mind.
I mean, and I hate to even say it, but unless it's some sort of a portal, I mean, stories abound of the Tritons and their fight against creatures from other planes, the elemental planes that came through rifts. Tritons follow to bring them back and to heal. And they live at even greater depths than we do. So the tales say that they have long since stood guard against things from other realms of existence that would otherwise come in through the depths of the sea.
Well, that certainly sounds exciting, but hopefully not.
Well,
Not here.
that doesn't seem likely considering it's right here and it's that shallow. But it's also not normal, so I don't know. I'm no mage.
Me neither.
With
Okay,
that,
yeah.
could I roll an Arcana to see if there's anything I think would do that magically?
Yes, you may. Magic is a very good possibility here, considering all the evidence of them discussing that this does not seem like something that would form naturally. That you came through here just a few days ago and everything was fine, and now it's like this. So magic is typically something that affects things when all else fails.
Could it be these druids?
Oh, it could be. You know,
I was gonna
Lobu,
say
if you felt inclined, you may not be able to see with your eyes, but if you can sense magic, then go down there.
Oh, I actually can detect magic. I should have thought about this. I'll just go ahead and cast it. Not waste time doing it as a ritual.
Alright.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and cast detect magic.
What's the range on detect magic?
30 feet.
Alright.
So I'll go ahead and turn back into a beast if I have to see all the way down. Turn back into a crab.
Yeah, that should be within 30 feet. This is a river. It's not going to be that deep, from what I can tell. So, yeah, you kind of like look down with detect magic and realize that yes, indeed, there is something magical about this crack, opening, vent, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm. Do we see any tracks on the shoreline or the tree line that would suggest that somebody had walked near here?
Roll for perception. You see a bit of a drag line heading to the south. Not so much in the way of, like, feet, but more like, serpentine.
That's peculiar. I pointed out to the rest of the...
Oh man, does it look like it's coming or going? Something crawl up out of that hole?
Well, the tracks don't go all the way from the hole to there, but there's something standing over there. Something over there moved.
I'm going over to that bank, taking a look.
Yeah, let's go check it out. If the emissaries don't mind.
The emissaries are fine with this. They're very curious about what's going on here. But they will stay with the raft no matter what you guys decide to do.
Yeah, so we'll park the raft on the shore, and then I'm at least going with Topaz.
Yeah, I'll go with them.
Me too.
Alright. Roll an investigation check to determine where the tracks are leading.
Can I help whoever's gonna do that? I'm
Sure.
not super good at investigating.
Though I thought that it was Topaz leading the charge here.
Oh, I'm no good at investigation. I'm good at
Okay, no,
survival.
that's fine. No, I was just checking to see who was doing that. So Lobu's the one doing that and getting the help action. So that would actually be a 21. To Lobu's eyes, this is very reminiscent of a snake trail.
I know exactly what did this, and I hate it, and we should go the other way.
Right. Follow the snake trail. Got it. Where's it go? I don't see it.
Yeah, for Topaz, all he sees undifferentiated mud, whereas Lobu picks up on a definite trail that's seemingly something, either a snake or something with a long, thick tail that covers feet tracks, is heading south.
Well, I mean, it might be a snake, but it also could be a druid who did something and then turned into a snake to crawl away.
Well, that makes me feel so much better. I feel so much better now.
They're trying to trick you, Lobu. Don't let them.
Fine, whatever you guys want to do, but I'm going to stand at the back and watch out.
I mean, I'm interested in going ahead and following these tracks.
And it's a magical lava snake.
That would be marginally interesting, actually. I would love to see that.
Yes, it would be interesting.
Your definition of interesting is messed up.
So I guess we'll follow the tracks as best we can.
Alright. So you begin to head south, away from the waterline, back into the swamp around you. The tall trees and start blocking out the sunlight as you continue along your way south, soon losing sight of the water to the north. Still, this trail continues to wind a bit.
Try to track it. Alright, slightly better. I'm moving stuff.
Yeah, I guess we should all move stealthily.
Okay, if you want me to roll stealth, I will, but I'm not very sneaky.
Well, I can do Pass Without a Trace if we really want it.
Lava snake.
Only last 10 minutes. Should I cast it?
I thought Pass Without Trace lasted like an hour.
As long as
I
you
think
stay
it-
within 30 feet.
I think it's 10 minutes. Oh, no, it's an hour. Yeah, I'll go ahead and cast it.
Not bad, actually.
29, 33, 25,
I need to roll mine.
32. That's
Of course she
Noxie.
is.
Noxie, you don't even know where Noxie is, and if she's
She-
following you or not. She is that stealthy.
She almost has a 40.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, as you...
Oh, cool.
Is that concentration? Is Bear's Endurance also in concentration?
I
They
don't
should-
think it.
Because if
Well-
it is, it's gone. If it's not, it's fine.
Oh, I haven't cast a secondary spell.
Okay.
Yeah, so I should still have it, which is pretty dope.
Cool. So, as you guys make your way sneakily following this trail, up ahead, some 60 feet away, you spot a heavily dressed, heavily armored, or neatly armored orc, and leading a charge of several more orcs, and what looks like an orc. Yeah, actually, they're all orc. They're all orcs to your eyes. My bad. Sorry, my brain is a little bit going flip, flip, flip on me. It's not letting me
You're good.
focus my thoughts. I hate when that happens. They too appear to be studying this trail. Does anyone speak Orcish other than Volan?
That's it.
Just Volan? Okay.
Knox.
Well, Noxie too, but Noxie's not physically here. Okay. So, you here? Emily?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Sorry. This is whispering. I'm not sure if I ever whispered to you before. So basically, you're overhearing the orcs, and you immediately recognize the one in charge as an Eye of Groomish orc. This is a group of fanatics. It's unlikely that they'll be friendly towards the group of you. Kind of pointing out the trail to the others and saying, I think it's heading south. We should be able to catch up to it soon. It took down down a single patrol not far from here. And you see, like, one of the other orcs that you actually recognize is an Orog and not just a normal orc. Kind of nod towards the Eye Greenrush commander and says, "Well, we'll get this thing before it can cause any more harm, and it'll be mounted up in your tent." And that's pretty much what you hear.
All right. Yeah. I'm gonna whisper to the group. They're absolutely not going to be friendly. Hold back for a moment while they pass.
Head.
Hopefully the snake eats them.
I thought you'd prefer them to take out a snake.
Well, I mean, if a miracle can happen, sure.
Oh, Libu. What are we gonna do with you, Libu? So you guys wait and hang back for a while, as eventually the individuals in question begin heading south, following the same trail that you're following.
All right. Once they get far enough away, I'll mention. Yeah, they are kind of fanatics, a cult of sorts. They wouldn't have been very the same thing that we are. They mentioned that whatever it was heading south, and they should catch up to it soon. They mentioned that it took down a single patrol not far from here. I don't know. But they're trying to track it down too, and apparently it's very powerful.
Well, yeah, it's a snake.
I'm thinking it might be worse than a snake, but I don't know.
So we let them take the brunt of it.
I mean, if we don't think they're going to help us, then yeah, I guess.
Good. Then let's follow and wait till we hear the screams.
I call that one guy's armor.
Well, I think it's better that it takes them down before we do, but they did mention that was somewhere around here. I don't know if we wanted to check that out or just continue following them or head back. What do you guys want to do?
We'll get back to that. See if it kills these first.
Agreed.
They didn't say what it was.
No, I didn't hear that part.
What makes you think they're fanatics?
They're followers of, I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name.
Grumash? Grumash? I'm bad at pronunciation too. It's like Eye of Grumsh. Gruumsh.
Groomch.
Yeah.
They're members of the Eye of Grumsh. They're known for being cult fanatics, so I mean, they'll be friendly. We can certainly try, but it's not. I don't think it's going to bode well for us.
Well, how far are we from Salt Marsh?
You're about 4 hours down the river from Saltmarsh. Or up the river from Saltmarsh, if you will. 4 hours away by river.
Yeah, great. So we've also got fanatic orc cults. Only a few hours away from the town.
What would they be doing all the way out here?
Getting killed by lava snakes, apparently.
I say
Wow.
we follow as long as we've got that pass without a trace spell.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
They don't sound like they're being stealthy. We'll be able to follow them by sound.
Alright. Whoever's in front, roll me a perception check.
Who's in front? Me? Or
Probably.
Whoever's on point. Whoever's leading this this ramble.
all right.
Alright.
Totally average.
So you guys continue to follow what trail you see. You continue on like this for about another, I want to say, half hour before you start hearing grunts and what sounds like combat from somewhere to the south.
All right.
Time to take a peek and get ready for a fight.
Alright, who's taking a peek?
I'll take a peek.
Let's see if I
Oh my
have
God, my
a
rolls.
tag for this.
We still have another plus 10.
It's true.
20.
So 20.
Sorry, I'm checking to see if I have any handouts for it. Nope, I don't have any handouts for it. Cool. So, as you peer through sorry, who said they're taking a peek?
I am, for one.
Alright, so
I
that'd
am
be
too.
new perception checks from you guys.
Oh, there we go.
Nice.
So, you guys managed to stay silent, stay stealthed, as the body of one orc comes and slams into a tree nearby. You also notice, as you start peeking your head out just enough to see, that it is getting decidedly warmer down this way. And a bit brighter, even though the sun is going down at this point. As you peer through, between the trees, you see what at first glance looks like a large red serpent with flame coming all over it. Except that the serpent happens to have arms that are holding some kind of spear. And nearby are bits of fire dancing along the roots that seem to be moving on their own accord.
Wait, what? Roots?
There seems to be bits of fire that are attached to the roots that you see in the marsh, like the upraised roots of trees. You know how that. But instead of being this like burning straight up, they look like they're dancing and moving like on their own. The fire
Okay.
itself, and in fact, you can
What's
see
happening to the orcs?
you can see two orcs tangling with the various weird looking fire that's on things. Well, the fancier dressed orc, the one that's been referred to as the Ayagrumash, and one of the slightly odder orcs that Volan recognizes as an Orug, seem to be attempting to deal with this huge, with this large, flaming serpent creature who keeps stabbing at them with its spear and occasionally lashing them with its tail.
Lobu will reach out with his mind to Volan and be like, Captain, should we just let these guys kind of... I mean, what's going on up there?
You're not gonna like this, but there's a lava snake.
Lava snake?
Like a really big lava snake. And there's lots of fire, and, they're fighting.
So do we just let them, I don't know, beat each other up?
I think we do best to stay put right now and see what the outcome is. There's no point in us getting involved right now when we might make enemies at both sides.
Makes sense to me. And then Lobu will get in a position to, watch the battle, too.
Okay. So that means that you get to see the lava snake. Or what you would think of as a lava snake, except for those arms.
Man, that thing's got arms. I don't know. Doesn't look that bad to me.
Are you kidding me? Are the arms are what makes it for you?
Yeah, I mean, they just move around by magic, I guess? I don't know. It's creepy.
Sorry, I was really laughing. I'm gonna have Dolan move up. Not all the way, so like he can like sort of make out. Maybe he can make out like the fire snake, but he's not close enough to make out the rest of the battle. Just to keep somewhat of a formation.
So with this, and you guys deciding what you're going to do, with this battle, you see the large flaming serpent with the spear stab its spear through the chest of the Orug and lift that up into the air before tossing it right in the middle of where you guys are currently standing, kind of sort of opening it up to the fact that you're either about to be spotted or you're going to be needing to run away. And with that decision reaching into your minds, we'll be stopping here for the evening.
Oh boy.
So you guys can decide by next week if you wish to get involved or simply get the hell out of here before something worse happens to you.
Lovely. Oh boy.